In today's video, I want to show you guys some fragrances that I think are perfect for summer nights. So summer night perfumes are going to be completely different from summer daytime fragrances. So of course, when it's summer and it's daytime, it's very hot, you get sweaty, and for the most part, a lot of us instinctively reach for fragrances that's going to make us smell clean and fresh. So we like to reach for the citruses, the clean, the soapy fragrances, which, you know, of course, is going to be quite normal. But when it starts to get a little bit darker, the temperature drops a little bit and it gets a little bit more breezy, depending on where you live, because I know for some of us it doesn't even matter. So some of us live in tropical countries and it doesn't matter what time of day it is. It's gonna be hot, muggy, sticky, you know what I'm saying? And even for me, I live in New York and sometimes it is like that. But sometimes we do have that off night where it's a little bit cooler, a little bit more breezy, and that presents the opportunity for us to wear fragrances that are gonna be a little bit more full, a little bit more dark, sexy, I mean, whatever you may want to call it. But I'm gonna show you guys some fragrances that I think are perfect to wear throughout the nighttime when it's summertime. I mean, nightlife for me right now is pretty much non-existent, but I know some of you guys won't let anything stop you, and this video is definitely gonna be for you to wear on your days, to go out with your friends and all that good stuff. Wow, that was a long intro. Let's jump right into this video. Okay guys, so welcome back and thank you so much for joining me. Of course, we're going to jump right into this video because that damn intro was so long. We're going to start out with a very special fragrance coming from the house of Elizabeth Arden, and it is Always Red Femme. So this little fragrance right here is completely unique. I was not expecting what I got when I smelled this fragrance. I really wasn't, especially after having the original Always Red scent. I thought this was going to be quite similar to the original Always Red. This is completely different. It just smells different, it feels different, the whole vibe around the scent is different. This is actually categorized as an amber floral, which I don't know if I completely agree with that. This feels more like a fruity floral green scent. I'm not sure where they got amber from. I may have to really go back and look and make sure if it's an amber floral. If I don't cut this part of the video out, then yes, it's categorized as an amber floral scent. Kind of weird that they'll do it that way, but whatever. So this fragrance opens up pretty much fruity and juicy and green. The dominant notes in the top are cassis and pear, and that's exactly what you kind of get. The cassis is very green. For those of you guys who don't know, cassis is basically the leaves to blackcurrant. It kind of wears this way throughout the whole fragrance. Of course, in the heart we get the florals, we get jasmine, we get lily of the valley, and there's some sort of plant in the heart that's called Artemisia, I think that's how you say it, which appears to be some sort of herbal plant, and you definitely get that. It gives it kind of like a very herbal, hazy type of scent. So, you know, all you have to do here is imagine, you know, some very green plant kind of smell along with that juicy pear. In the base of the fragrance, we get vanilla, patchouli, moss, and cedar. I was expecting to get that vanilla, but for me, I only got those green notes. I got the patchouli, which in this case, it's not dirty patchouli. It's more of a green, fresh patchouli. It's almost like smelling the leaves of the patchouli. So if you're not into patchouli, I'm not sure you're gonna like it, but maybe you will, because I detest patchouli, but I really like it here because, like I said, at least it's not dirty. It's more of a green patchouli. I mean, if that sounds like your sort of thing, I mean, go ahead, knock yourself out. I believe this one is only $19.99 or something like that, so it's quite inexpensive. So yeah, that's all I got for this one. Coming up next is another fragrance from the house of Elizabeth Arden, and yes, you guessed it, this is the original Always Red fragrance, which I completely adore. This fragrance smells so bomb. If you have this fragrance, please let me know what you think about it. It was a blind buy for me, and at first I didn't think much of it until one day I decided to wear it to the office, and I was like, wow. After wearing it, I just knew I had to come on here and put you guys on. It is just such a lovely scent. Very complex. I feel like there's so much going on in this fragrance, but it just works. Always Red is categorized as an amber floral. It opens up really fruity and sweet, almost a bit syrupy, I would say, with notes of plum, blood orange, and passion fruit. But when it gets down to the heart of the fragrance, we get these beautiful, clean florals. We have rose, jasmine, sambac, and pink freesia. In the base, we get these beautiful, sweet, deep, rich notes of praline, red amber, and mahogany. And if you guys have ever smelled mahogany, it gives off like a spicy, woodsy scent, and it is so apparent in this fragrance. I mean, the whole combination is just so beautiful. With all those clean florals in the heart, it just never gets too sweet. The perfumer of this fragrance knew exactly what he or she was doing. This is gorgeous. It lingers and projects nicely, so you don't have to worry about performance with this one. I think a fragrance like this would smell beautiful on a cool summer night. This is just gorgeous. So coming up next is a fragrance from the house of Kenzo. And this is Kenzo World, and this is the EDP. This fragrance right here is categorized as a floral, which I find very odd. I don't know who be categorizing these fragrances, but for me, this feels more like an amber floral scent, just because of the nature of the scent. Like when you smell it, it smells ambery, and you get the florals, you definitely get the fruits. This is a beautiful scent, and it's another fragrance that I consider to be unique. It smells gorgeous. Even though it doesn't smell like Always Red, I feel as though they have some things in common. They're both very fruity in a very syrupy way. They have some very clean florals, and in the base, it gets a little bit more sweet and has this gourmand feel to it, and that's exactly what I get from this one. The only difference with this one is that there's a bit of powderiness to this one, and I think it makes it smell rather unique. It smells more expensive. So Kenzo World opens up with red fruits. At this point, it's very fruity, very sweet, almost syrupy, but of course a couple of minutes in, we get those clean florals. We have peony, floral notes, and Egyptian jasmine. So we basically have the same kind of story going on here, where we have those dominant sweet fruits and a little bit of a gourmand feel. But even though we have all that sweetness, we have those very clean florals going through the fragrance that makes it very pretty, that makes it very wearable, and it never gets too sweet. And it does feel a little bit more refined. So you could tell that this is probably more on the expensive side of things. Coming up next is Lolita Lempicka EDP. This one to me, guys, is such a little gem. I love this fragrance, but this is not a fragrance to blind buy. It is very taste specific. You have to try this fragrance before buying it, but I honestly think it is gorgeous. I could understand why this is so polarizing. It is a very unique scent. It has a beautiful dominant cherry note that I completely love. It's very spicy, powdery, earthy, so there is a lot going on in this fragrance, but it is so gorgeous, and I could just imagine how beautiful this one would smell on a cool summer night. So I get a very dominant cherry note. I get that spiciness from the star anise, the licorice, and of course we get some powderiness from the violet. And when it dries down, which happens to be my favorite part, you get that tonka bean, the white musk, and the vetiver. It's just a beautiful and very sexy scent, very unique, very memorable. It's a fragrance that could easily be someone's signature scent. It is very distinct. Once someone experiences this fragrance on you, they'll never forget you. It is just that type of scent. The performance is out of this world. It lasts for ages. So even though it's such a beautiful scent, I would recommend you trying this one before buying it, because it does have a very strong personality. I completely love this one though. Coming up next is another fragrance. I believe this one is also from Elizabeth Arden. It's called Provocative Woman. So this fragrance, I feel as though I've had this one in my collection for a while, but for some reason I keep feeling drawn to it. I keep going in to my little closet to spray it out because I feel as though it's just a beautiful scent. When I bought this fragrance, I wasn't into this kind of floral scent where you have spicy notes and fruits and all that good stuff, and that's exactly what you get from this. It's fruity, it's spicy, It's kind of sweet, it's fresh, it's vibrant, but at the same time it does have a slightly dark kind of feel to it, but not really. The most dominant notes that I get from this are ginger, quince, lotus, sandalwood, raspberry, and we have some green notes. It does give me dark purple vibes. I know it's kind of weird to put a color to a fragrance, but that's the kind of vibe it gives here. This is a fragrance that I think would be perfect to wear on a cool, breezy summer night. A very romantic kind of scent. It does give me that vibe. Coming up next is a fragrance that a lot of people have in their collection because, of course, it was a very hyped up scent. And I fell for the hype because I really wanted to see what the hype was about. And it is Dolce Garden. So I know a lot of people present this one to be a daytime, summertime scent. And of course, absolutely, you could wear this one in the daytime. But because in the daytime, in the summertime, it's usually so hot and sticky. And this fragrance is just sweet and so creamy and full. I kind of feel like it would be more perfect to wear as a nighttime fragrance in the summertime when the temperature has dropped a little bit. It's a little bit more breezy. So it's giving me nighttime, summertime fragrance, not necessarily daytime. But like I said, there are people who are going to wear this one in warmer weather when it's hot. They're going to wear this one on the beach because it does have that tropical scent to it. So Garden is classified as a floral, fruity gourmand scent. It opens up with notes of magnolia, mandarin orange, and neroli, which you definitely get the mandarin orange and the neroli. So it's definitely dominant. And things start to get real tropical and sweet once it hits the heart. So we have coconut, frangipani, and ylang ylang. So for sure you get that coconut, and that tropical feel is definitely coming from the frangipani. And in the base, it gets very creamy and smooth, a little bit earthy, I would say, from the vanilla absolute, almond milk, and the sandalwood. So it's a decent fragrance, a very nice fragrance, one that a coconut lover would enjoy because it's giving you everything. It's giving you creamy, sweet, orange. It's giving you tropical. It's a really nice scent. And if you don't have this one in your collection and you love coconut fragrances, you definitely have to try this one. This is one that you have to have. Coming up next is a fragrance from the house of Lancome. This fragrance is categorized as an oriental scent, and I think that's about right. It does smell quite oriental. So at first when I experienced this fragrance, I wasn't sure what was going on. I kind of felt confused because I just could not figure out who they were trying to target, like what audience they were trying to target, because it does smell very juvenile, but at the same time, it feels mature. Let me explain. So it opens up with passion flower. And for those of you guys who don't know, passion flower has this very distinct scent of purple candy or like a purple lollipop. Like it gives off that scent, like it's hard to deny. In the heart, we have some florals. We have jasmine and gardenia. I will never for the life of me pick up the gardenia nor the jasmine. I don't get these flowers in this fragrance. In the base, we get that vanilla and the vetiver. So the vanilla in here is not so much of a gourmand vanilla. It's more of an oriental vanilla. Of course, most people would wear this fragrance in the winter months because of that oriental feel that it has coming from the vanilla absolute and the vetiver. But because the passion flower gives off this very tart scent, I think you could definitely wear this one on summer nights. This is also another fragrance that would be perfect, like if you're going out on a date, like a nighttime date or something like that. You want to smell sweet and flirty, but not childlike, even though it kind of is. Let's move on. We have two more beautiful fragrances on this list. This is just a little reminder to like this video if you have not yet liked it, and to subscribe if you're not yet subscribed to the channel. Coming up next is another fragrance that I think a lot of people wear throughout the daytime, but to me this feels like a nighttime kind of scent when it's a little bit cooler, and I'm talking about Ferragamo. So I think a lot of people treat this one as a warm weather fragrance, and I think for the most part, of course it is, but I think it will just be better to wear throughout the night. It just gives me that type of vibe, and I'll explain why. Ferragamo has some very unique notes. It's considered an amber floral. It opens up with rosemary, Campari, and blackcurrant. In the heart, we have rhubarb, jasmine sambac, and in the base, we have Tahitian vanilla ambroxan, and sandalwood. Now, I think a lot of people get a bit carried away with that orange creamsicle smell that you get in the opening, but a couple of minutes later, I mean, the true story really begins, and this fragrance definitely gets a bit heavier. And I would even say it feels a little oriental in my opinion. Like I said, we have vanilla, ambroxan, and sandalwood. Those are very heavy notes in a fragrance. So this is why I'm adding this fragrance to the list. I think it's best to wear this one when the temperature drops a little bit and it gets a little bit cooler and a little bit more airy and a little bit more breezy. Now, the dry down to me is beautiful. I like that whole woodsy, musky vibe with the little vanilla note. I totally dig that. I just think it smells better in cooler weather. What I also like about this fragrance is how it performs. You put this one on your pulse points and you're good for the day. So I definitely like that about this scent. Definite plus. Coming up next is a fragrance from the house of Dolce Gabbana, and I always feel as though I'm making some sort of a disclaimer before, you know, introducing this scent. And this is a nice scent, so it doesn't deserve that. I'm not sure why I'm treating it like a stepchild, but no offense to all the stepchildren out there, but we all know what that saying means, right? So the fragrance that I'm talking about here is Temperance. A couple of days ago, I uploaded a video, and you know, I kind of made some disclaimers before adding this to the list. I kind of felt like it didn't fit the profile of a typical summery scent. While doing this fragrance, I had like this aha moment where I was like, I should have added it to this list instead, because I feel as though it is definitely suitable to wear this fragrance on a nice, cool summer night when it's all cool and breezy and comfortable. It's a beautiful combination of clean but warm, slightly sweet. I don't want to put too much emphasis on the sweet because it's not really like an overly sweet scent. There is sweetness to it for sure, but I don't want to put too much emphasis on the sweet. Next thing you guys think it's like this gourmand type of scent. It's just a lightly sweet scent. I also like to describe this as a slightly sweet spiced tea type of scent. It gives me that vibe every single time I smell it. Now, of course, I'm going to mention again that this fragrance doesn't really last that long. It's a fragrance that you may have to refresh. It's very inexpensive and it smells really, really attractive. It's a very nice scent. Okay guys, so that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all you can to support the content coming from this channel. It's what's gonna help this channel grow and what's gonna keep me doing these videos. All right, bye.